Hi, Nandini. Welcome.
Hi,
Uh,
good afternoon, and
Hi.
thank you.
Yes, a very good afternoon to you, Nandini. Uh, Nandini Vijay Simha has 20 plus years of experience in people management and exposure to different industries. She is an empathetic people's leader for HR, a certified ICF coach, mastering in women empowerment with exceptional networking skills. Nandini is a senior HR and operations professional who has restructured processes and rolled out strategies that have successfully resulted in faster hiring, enhanced quality of hire, and improved engagement of people. Nandini specializes in women empowerment, coaching, and helps women become self reliant and independent across the country. We welcome you, Nandini, today. I think today's topic is on women empowerment and something very close to the heart of every woman. And what really does it mean to you, Nandini?
First of all, thank you for that wonderful introduction about me. And yes, women empowerment is something which is very close to every woman's heart. So let me make a small clarification here. So this is totally different from women's liberation, nothing to do with it. So empowerment, as the word itself says, it tries to give you freedom from all your preconceived notions. And this is especially important to women because we go through a lot of roles and in our life, whether we like it or not, we are playing the role of mother, we're playing the role of a wife, a daughter. And I think it is important for us also to realize our dreams. So, in the process of living our lives in the different roles, what we do is we tend to put our dreams under the carpet and we start feeling that I don't think my dreams are important to us. So, I need to focus on how to make life very easy for others around me. So basically, women empowerment, according to me, and I'm a very passionate women empowerment person, is according to me is basically allowing a woman or guiding a woman to follow her dreams, guiding her on how to achieve it, and guiding her on how to overcome all the difficulties or challenges that she faces along the way, or rather, she thinks are challenges that she sees along the way. So basically, this is in very simple terms what women empowerment is all about.
So, Nandini, you embarked on this 20-year marathon. So, what were really some of the obstacles that you came across, and what were those pivotal decisions that you took?
That's a very nice question, actually. So I started off basically my career in a field in HR, basically because I was very passionate about speaking or mixing with people, talking to them. And along the journey, I realized that there are a lot of things that challenge you. Like once you get married, you have responsibilities at home. You have to actually take a look at some of the things at home, like are you catering to your family? You know, it's expected of you as a woman. So, are you fulfilling those needs? Otherwise, are you ready to face the taunts at home? Are you ready to face the cold stares? Not every woman is emotionally strong enough to face all this to overcome around these things. So, these are some of the challenges I also faced. My family, of course, was very supportive, but it is a lot of the guilt factor within you as a woman, basically, which works against your own steps. So those were something. So if you're climbing up the ladder, you need to put in longer hours at work. So is my family okay with it? I never bothered to ask them are they okay with it because they never had a problem with it. So are you ready to put in those long hours? Are you ready to take off on certain you want to achieve? What are the importance that you are giving to the different roles and are you able to balance it first of all? So these were some of the challenges I also faced. Questions or answers I gave myself honestly. I coached myself or guided myself and told myself what is it that I want to achieve. The first and foremost thing I always had in my life, or rather my friends taught me was have an identity for yourself. Are definitely playing different roles of some wife, daughter, someone's sister yourself with. So that was a definite no for me as an answer. So I want to have an independent identity of my own. Nandini, the honor met. So that was something I was very passionate about. So I had to work towards it. For that, I needed anything to do. I did either a job or some business that I wanted to do. So I got very much aware of the sales, what job it was, and I done to that. So I had a lot of strong skills within me. So I narrowed it down to HR. I knew I wanted to do something in that area. I was very good in that area. I got a master's degree. I studied on. I continue to study even today after 20 years of my job. Just to make sure that I am good at what I am doing. So my identity comes from there. I am someone who's an individual who works towards people's today. I work towards women's empowerment, not just helping myself, but also helping other women along the way to achieve their dreams and stand out on their own.
Wow, on a noble mission, I would say.
I hope I answered your
So,
question.
Nandini, if you look at some of the organizational setups, there are a lot of stereotypes and some biases that impact the working dynamics today. And so, what are some of these that you may have experienced or watched as an observer? And would you like to share some tips on how what really can be done to overcome some of them?
So, I would like to share one important thing that I myself faced in my career. So, I used to initially work in a manufacturing organization as a personnel officer. That's what they were called initially, HR folks. So, during those days, there were a lot of these males in the production capacity who used to think she's a woman, she can't do much in the production area. She's a woman, she can't stay late. So, this is the gender stereotype basically which arises. And there are men who feel they can't report into women, because she's a woman, she can't understand. So these are some of the strong gender stereotypes, I think, which has reduced quite a bit in these days, but used to be there when I started my career. So what I have advised, these are just some of the gender stereotypes that I spoke about, which actually I faced. But there are a lot out there, and I think many of them are created by women themselves. You offer them a senior role, the first thing they say is, "I don't know if I can manage it. I have a family to take care of." So you're actually stereotyping yourself. You don't know if you have that capacity to multitask. In our real life, in a role as a woman, we are multitasking 101 roles, 101 things. How do you think the house runs so effectively, with a woman? Because she's already doing multitasking and taking care of so many things. So, what makes you think you can't do that at the workplace? Join a workplace which gives you capability or facility to actually take care of all your roles comfortably. Encourage the leadership role in you that comes out. And the leader doesn't always have to be a leader with a title. You can be a leader in your own particular. Aren't you being a leader as a mother? Right? So you are not being gender stereotyped there. You're a mother, comes out of your passion. So even though there is one kind of gender stereotyping in our society, but again, that again comes out from a woman herself. Are you assertive enough to delegate work among the other people? That is very important. If you feel I can't stay late, train somebody who can and whom you can monitor. And basically, the end of the day, the name of the game is getting the job done. Are you getting it done? So it doesn't have to be necessarily you or me. So the concept of feeling that I am the only one who can do it best is something wrong. Trust in people. Allow them to do it. You are there, but then you are monitoring and giving freedom to someone else to manage it for you. So don't you have a maid at home? Don't you trust her to clean it? You are not doing everything. Similarly, it applies to the workplace. Allow people to do some things for you. You grow up the ladder. Take other people up the ladder with you. So that I think sort of addresses the gender stereotyping, and you let people give the message that it doesn't matter what gender I am. I'm taking care of what needs to be. That is important.
Sure. As you were speaking, Nandini, I was reminded of one of the research articles that I had read from Harvard, which stated that, if a lady is really working, wrapping up a little early during the day by 5:30 or 6, then it is perceived that her priorities are different. Whereas if the head of the department, who's a male, who's leaving early, people perceive that the person is a family man. So, it's again a stereotype that women have to really work through. While at Cheese, we are not really, there's a very thin line between the focus being on women and being a women activist organization. And we also are really focused on women, and we want to, make it better for them, a more congenial environment where these biases don't really impact so much. And there are also a lot of talk around. There is a lot of talk around the power structures, the coteries that you see in the workplace, maybe boys club. So how do you really navigate these from amidst all of this?
That's a good question. Yes. I think the stereotyping basically can also be created by women themselves in the organization that you work. So, if they don't have families, they tend to stay back late and they comment on other women who have families that they have to take care of. So, I think the general message that any woman has to give is look at the work that I'm doing, irrespective of how long I take to do it. I might be smarter, I'm doing it faster, which I'm why I'm wrapping up my work early. So it is very important to pass on a message saying, my work speaks for me. It's not the time. And I think post pandemic, that is really working very well for women, where you have flexi hours, flexi work timings. It doesn't matter how long you're working, but end of the day, are you taking care of what you're supposed to be doing? So if you are the leader of an organization or if you're owning your own business, try to create a culture which encourages people to contribute quality work or quality time rather than quantity time. And what's the use of staying back till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in an office? If that, I mean, that's the kind of situation we are looking at, and doing nothing rather than just staring at the screen. Versus, I would rather contribute very quality work, contribute towards quality time, finish it in the time I can, and put my time more usefully to other things that I need to focus on. It doesn't necessarily have to be your family time. It can be anything. You're focusing on upskilling yourself. You're trying to challenge yourself to learn something new, probably a new language, probably something else that you're looking forward to. So make sure you pass on that message that it doesn't matter how long you take to do it, but it's what kind of work that you did or what kind of contributions you are doing that really matters the most. I think that will definitely beat the gender stereotype. And there are not many people who will actually question a person who's contributing very solidly and say, you didn't, I mean, log in long enough, you didn't stay online for long enough, or you're not working for the number of hours required. Because when your work starts talking for yourself, work really starts talking for itself and nobody comes around and questions you as to what gender you are and what is the kind of thing you're finding. But are you assertive enough to actually go and show them that your work is talking? Is a question that all women need to ask themselves. Are you creating a boundary in your head about I'm a woman, can I do this? So let us break open that barrier, and I think they we will be breaking open the gender stereotyping.
Sure, sure. So, Nandini, was there really any moment in your life where you felt powerless? And, how did you really overcome it? And what learnings would you like to share with our audience today?
That's a nice introspective question. In the initial years of my career, like I already said, manufacturing setup even today has a very traditional bent of mind. So I did have a lot of challenges where men used to yell at women employees, actually, and say, "You're a woman, you can't do this." So I used to feel very powerless at that point in time and assume what are we doing here? Why are we not given that kind of power? Or, even in probably domestic issues, when you feel powerless against somebody and say, why is it that? The main thing that I did was I took it easy. There is no need to get excited. There is no need, to rant it out, yell at people or shout at people and feel very frustrated about yourself. No, I worked through it calmly. I said, I have this particular thing to work on. I need to show these people that I am capable of anything that I can think of. My mind is the only thing which stops me. So I worked through it patiently, and I think that really helped me overcome those situations. And majorly, what we women do as mistakes is get emotional about situations, which we should not. There are a lot of events in our life which makes us feel very powerless, angry, frustrated, trying to pull your hair. What is it I'm doing? Why am I not getting recognition? You'll get your time. Just work around it. Talk to people calmly. Might be a child, might be anything where you feel, I really can't put my message across to people. They don't listen to me. They will. Put it across the way you have to put it. And your tone makes the difference. You don't have to be angry, aggressive, rude, but just be assertive in the way you speak to people. they will wake up, stand up, and listen to you. That's something that I have experienced in my own life. Your work, and like I say, the way you put things across puts the message to them what kind of a person you are, irrespective of your gender.
Absolutely, and being true to yourself in those moments, so that authenticity also, in that moment. So I was also reading that, and I've also had those powerless moments, and wherever I've felt that powerless moment, there has been something possibly inauthentic, which may be very subtle, but it's really important to recognize that and work on it. So that's really a great point. And so Nandini,
Right.
how do we get more women to come onto leadership positions? Because when we see right from there's a lot of data around it that from entry level to senior leadership position 50% nearly is a drop that we observe. So, what can really be done about this? What are your views?
Um, this is a very pet topic of mine. So, this is something I talk to many women in my organization too, where I tell them all the biases lie in our head as women. I had my own mother who was working, like I told you. I mean, one of my earlier messages that she was a working woman and she has refused a lot of promotions only because she felt she couldn't manage her home. And I think that's a kind of feeling that travels down women across many generations even today. So what we need to understand is we have to chart down where exactly is the point where we feel, stumped. Why is it I'm feeling hesitant to take up this role in a leadership role if I'm capable of it? Two, three things to ask is, am I ready for this leadership role? Do I have the capacity? If I do, what is stopping me? If it is something like, identify all the areas of challenges that you are facing. So, put it down into smaller points. So, for example, it might be as simple as I might not be able to be there for my family. So, how do I work around it? So, the first thing you need to do is, are there somebody around it who will help you during that situation where you're not able to be around for your child or your medical emergency? How do I work around it? Or do I work in an organization which gives me a flexibility to attend to that particular situation and come back to my role, diversify my role for a little bit, come back again, focus on what I'm supposed to do? So in the process, what you're doing is you're also empowering a lot of women around you. So if let me say there are certain challenges like I have to work late, I can't cook. So why don't you identify someone who can do that for you in the evening? You're giving an employment to another lady in the process. You're freeing up your time. You're making yourself available for a role which needs a little bit more of your time. So that it's like a chain, food chain. You empower somebody else. That person empowers somebody else. So you're giving employment to multiple people under you, even it be a small kind of activity like hiring someone who can cook for you, hiring somebody who can knead atta for you to make chapatis, or even identify colleagues at work who can help you with certain things, which will empower you to become a leader, create more leaders under you, and in the process, create a stronger organization or a place of work that you have created. And there are a lot of employment opportunities in the process you can give to many women who can become financially independent. So this is something you can, all women can think of, and to just make them feel assured, I mean, reassured about it. Being in a leadership role does not take up too much of your challenges. It just all it needs is some time management, some management or personal request on your own, and you really have to just work around it. Chart out your challenges very closely, identify it, list it down, and work with somebody as a coach who can help you, really get over all your challenges and help you overcome this to become a better leader, or if you're not yet a leader, to become one. So that is something I have also done for myself. Can be called like something very similar to a SWOT analysis. Do your own SWOT analysis, identify your challenges, empower yourself to work around it, be assertive enough to work around it, and then see how things can make a difference. We'll have more number of women coming up on leadership boards or other areas, which will actually, give more opportunities to women leaders.
Sure, I think that was very well said. We are trying to create this entire community who can actually support each other in those tough moments. And if you have those 6 7 people whom you really need to help you in that situation, and you can find them, you can engage with them, you can be with them, and you can learn so much together. And you just do it without really even an agenda. and you don't know when it will come back to you and when you need it the
Absolutely.
most. And that's the foundation with which we are moving ahead as well. And today, I think this is amongst the first few sessions, as it's on the inaugural day that has happened on our app. I think some of the users may have just slipped out because of the iOS and the Android thing, because I think some sessions have been on Zoom and some on the Android. But it's really been a pleasure, Nandini, to have you today with us. This session is also live streamed on YouTube. So to all
Okay.
our audience, once the Apple phone is launched, we would have a lot more sessions also happening, and so we would encourage everyone to come and join. And Nandini is also a coach on our platform. So do sign up for sessions with her. You can speak to her. You can, have a sounding board conversation with her. You can have her as an expert, and all of this and lot more, Nandini. And Nandini, we encourage you to have more conversations on the app, and it's still fairly new, and we would love to have experts like you coming on the app and sharing your thoughts and views to inspire everyone. So thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Rashpreet.
uh,
Thank you very much for giving me
uh,
this opportunity and congratulations on being the launch day of Say Cheese.
thank you so much.